I watched 10 different influencers go through their baby registry regrets so you don't have to. What do all these moms have in common? What are the patterns? What are the biggest regrets? Before you build your baby registry or get it complete, here is what these moms regret putting on theirs. The first item that ranked high, it was a 7 out of 10. And when I say that, I watched 10 moms, 7 regretted it. So that's high ranking. It would be clothing. So regrets they had: too many hats, socks in general, things like baby shoes, fancy outfits, and also purchasing outfits in advance for like the wrong season in a sense. Like, okay, they bought a 6-month outfit for summer. Well, their baby was a little chunky, and by the time like summer came around, they needed more like a 9-month outfit, and the seasons weren't matching up with what they bought ahead. So buying too far ahead was part of that clothing regret. Another one was just not buying the simple outfits, was buying fancy things and frilly things and 2-piece outfits. And they wish they would have had more 1-piece outfits. And that could be like a 1-piece romper, like an outfit, or it could just be a lot of onesies. When it comes to onesies, the regrets were snaps. The regrets were not getting ones with footies and like mittens for when they're newborns and they could scratch their face. If you look closely when you're ordering sleepers, you can find one. I call it a cuff. Do like a cuff over their sleeve or over their hand, I should say. And I think those are great. Now, there was one that a mom mentioned that I don't know how I feel about this, okay? I had my babies before these came out, but sleepers that are magnetic, they have a magnetic close. I feel a little weird about this. I don't know. I just feel like there's so much about magnets being dangerous for babies to swallow and choke on them, and magnets, batteries, it doesn't feel good. The other thing I would say is with drying them. These sleepers that are magnetic, is it really clunky in the dryer? Is it okay to dry them? Like just, So I don't know how I feel about that. The magnet also, like say grandpa has a pacemaker. Can he not hold that baby? Is that dangerous at all for him to have a magnet like near that? People with like cochlear implants. And I know maybe I'm reaching, but something about putting magnets in a baby's clothing does not feel good to me in general. Now, I do know magnets can be utilized for making clothing more accessible. Say somebody has like a wrist condition or something of, even somebody who like is an amputee and they have a baby. Those magnets could be amazing for them. So I'm definitely not discounting this product for all types of people, but it makes me a little nervous. Anyway, went down a rabbit hole there. Let's move on. The next item that was also a 7 out of 10, 7 out of these 10 moms regretted it, was baby containers. This could be the bumbo seat, the mama-roo, swings, bouncers, walkers, jumpers. 7 of them had a regret in some area. Okay, and I fully agree with this, mostly. So I don't think the mama-roo looks enjoyable for a baby. Swings for me are bulky. The bumbo seat, I think they're really bad for them, and it's a very short-lived item, and they can be dangerous for flipping over. Bumbo is a hard no for me. Then like walkers, not supposed to be good. Hips and all that. Same with jumpers. The bouncer seat is the one that I say go for it. And my reason for this is you can find them very affordable. They move around the house very easily. Say you're in the bathroom trying to like straighten your hair. Baby can sit in there with you. Say you have multi-levels. You can carry it up and down the stairs very easily. They can even travel with you if needed. They can break down sometimes and travel. So for me, the bouncer would be the pick. The people that regretted the bouncer often regretted getting the expensive like baby Bjorn bouncer. That's like $200. So go simple. The other thing I would say with baby containers is a lot of these moms regretted going fancy. And the thing is, your baby doesn't know how much you paid for that item, and they don't care. They like certain items, and they don't like certain items. And when it comes to that, this is where secondhand can also work out really well, of trying different things and then deciding if you want to invest in it, or if it's something that's like easily washed or wiped down, secondhand. Don't be intimidated by that option. Now, the fancy seats definitely suck a lot of mamas in, but then there's also fancy sleep monitors. Okay, so there's things like the Owlet. There's also just the monitor, but it's like got some sleep applications to it. One mom did not like the hatch. I love the hatch, so I can't critique on that one. It was a minimal mom and she just thought it was too fancy. Then there was another mom talking about her fancy system like required a specific like sleep sack for them to wear because it would like monitor them. So then you had to buy something extra. There's also different baby monitors where it's like these mounting systems on the wall, and you go on vacation and you can't even take the system with you. And then there's the Wi-Fi concern. Some of them had that concern of being hacked. A lot of these moms wish they would have gone with a really simple baby monitor, whether that's one with a screen or without. I know there's pros and cons. So if you're outside of your home and you don't have that baby monitor with you, you can't see your kid. But part of that is trusting who is watching them. If you really trust them, you don't need to see them. We went with a baby monitor that was the Bava. It should be down in the description with my favorite products. Pros and cons with all, but no Wi-Fi. So if we're on a date night, we cannot see our kids. But that's okay with us, all right? Because we would rather not have the Wi-Fi and have the risk of being hacked. Now, one thing that the VaVa does not do is a split screen. I like 2 cameras. That way, if you have 2 kids, they can both be seen at the same time on the same monitor. A lot of mamas are also just switching to the audio ones, the old school, where you just could hear them when they cried. And then another thing with these sleep trackers and high-tech monitors is sometimes it gives moms more anxiety. It makes them be more hyper vigilant and like watching them and just analyzing every peep they make. So it can be a pro, it can be a con. Okay, so definitely do your research and think about what matters to you and what you think you will be able to handle. If I didn't say it before, the fancy sleep monitors, it was a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 moms had a regret in this category. And when I say 5 out of 10, I don't know if all 10 of them bought a fancy monitor. That's the thing. Not every mom buys the same items, but these are just 5 that specifically mentioned that for some reason it didn't work out for them. The next 5 out of 10 is the bassinet. So one person mentioned the snoo, and something I've heard about the snoo, very difficult to clean. And then you also need to buy like the special swaddles to like strap them in. And the thing with that is it's like you don't just buy one, because what if they have a blowout or spit up? You need 2 or 3. And then another one mentioned the Halo bassinet. And like one of the features that it said was that you could swivel it. And the mom was literally like, I don't think I ever swiveled it. Like, don't buy things for features that might not even matter. Buy it for its core function. Then there was another mom who mentioned the Moses basket. And it just, a lot of bassinets don't come with much fluff and padding. They are pretty hard. Watch out for that. And obviously we want baby to be safe and we don't want it to be too absorbent or something where, you know, it's not firm enough. But bassinets are not always the softest. Versus, you could just start them in the crib. Consider it. The other thing with bassinets, so you're only going to be in it for 6 months until they roll, until they get too big. Then you have to store this thing. And some of them break down, some of them don't. Like the Moses basket, that thing is not going to store well. It's big and it's going to stay big. So you're going to have to break this down, store it if possible, and then you're going to move on to the crib anyway. Consider starting with the crib from day one. I have multiple videos going over this. You are going to get more money, like your money's worth out of the crib by using it for a longer duration. The crib can go in your room if there's space, or you can go in their room. There is more than one way to raise your babies, and the bassinet does not have to be an item that you even get. And if you don't want this regret on your baby registry, maybe you just don't even get it and start with the crib. Another 5 out of 10, 5 out of 10 moms regretted this one was the high chair. They regretted the high chair they bought. So one of them said the fabric, it had like a fabric in it, literally didn't come off. It was one where you're supposed to just like wipe it with a wet cloth. She ended up cutting it out because she was like, it's disgusting. So make sure that obviously any fabric is removable. One of them got a high chair that was so big, her baby was slipping out of it. Like it didn't work for a young baby. It had no like adjustability with it, and like it had buckles, but they just weren't fitting tight enough for her little baby. So that would be something to watch out for. One complained that the base was too big at the bottom. My solution to that is get a booster seat that straps into a chair. And then another one complained that their high chair was just so difficult to clean. I will warn you, every high chair is going to be difficult to clean. The key is less is more. So get one that is as minimalistic as possible. And that means having just less features. Okay, all you need is a tray, buckles, and ideally somewhere for them to rest their feet. That's supposed to be good for them. Don't get a splat mat. Okay, that's something else to clean. Don't get one that has a ton of fabric and cloth. No need. Get ones that are like rounded silicone edges, okay, versus like sharp corners to try to clean. This is a picture of the booster seat we have. We absolutely loved it, and we are keeping it for our nieces and nephews whenever they come and visit. So for us, it's a winner. 5 out of 10 moms regret the wipe warmer. So again, I don't know if all the moms even got this item to regret it. Some might have known, don't get the wipe warmer. But at least 5 of them got it, and at least 5 of them regretted it. They're just something to refill, maintain, plug in, like just don't need. And one of the moms, who was one of the 5 that regretted it, they set up their changing table in the baby's room or wherever. There wasn't even an outlet nearby, so she couldn't even plug the wipe warmer in. That is poor planning. Okay, don't get a wipe warmer. You simply don't need it. Oh, and then another one, she said she got the wipe warmer and would use it. And some people say their babies will like pee on them because the wipes are cold. Well, this mama felt like the warm wipes actually made her baby go pee. So she was like, we'd have a mess every diaper change. Interesting take on that. You know, it's a complete opposite of what a lot of people would argue. My opinion in general, skip the wipe warmer. They don't need it. Get used to normal wipes. 5 out of 10 regretted getting a bottle warmer. Overall, people just got tired of using it. They were impatient waiting for it to heat up. And one of them said she read the manual so many times, cleaned it properly every single time, but her bottle warmer kept growing mold. And if you think about it, whether it's formula or breast milk, sticky, breast milk especially, very sugary, very sticky. Formula, just like sticky powder spills, you know, it gets around the ring of the bottle and it's a warm place. Like that doesn't make sense that mold would grow there. And this mom was like, it's absolutely disgusting. I didn't want to use a bottle warmer that keeps growing mold to warm up my baby's bottles. That is ridiculous. So for her, it was definitely a regret. One of my most frequent items that I discourage moms from getting is the diaper pail. 4 out of 10 regretted this. No major reasons here, you just don't need it, I think is the argument overall. The only thing that maybe I've recently considered is if you have pets and you find that they would maybe get into a trash can with diapers, is maybe that would make sense for you. But in general, I don't like diaper pails. 4 out of 10 moms had regrets on bottles. And some of these moms breastfed, so a lot of different reasons, but some of the reasons were they got too many bottles. They'd get like 10 Dr. Brown's, 10 Phillips Avent, and they figured out which one their baby liked, and then those 10 bottles didn't get used. So that was a regret. Having too many bottles in general was a regret. And one of them regretted getting the 4 and 5 ounce. They were like, just get the 8 ounce. Why get both sizes? It doesn't make sense. Just get the big ones. They last the whole duration of bottle feeding formula or breast milk, whatever it is. What I would recommend when it comes to bottles, obviously, if you want to breastfeed, that's a whole other story. If you're going to do that, definitely don't get a ton of bottles. But if you possibly can, get like a sample of everything. So in my Welcome Amazon and Welcome Target, I got like a few bottles to try. Let your baby try it and then get more of them. Obviously, you want to get the most bang for your buck on your baby registry. Yes, but get items like you're more sure you're going to use. Like diapers, wipes, clothing. You don't know until baby arrives what's going to work for them. And that does make it very difficult to do your baby registry. The next item I found a little bit surprising, but 4 out of 10 disliked their nursing pillow. They just either didn't enjoy it in general or they had a specific complaint, which was one of them said the My Breast Friend nursing pillow did not have a cover on it. And maybe covers exist, maybe they don't, and this person didn't know it. But it was almost like a microfiber velvety feel to it. And basically the directions were to wipe with a wet cloth. And she was like, my kid had a blowout on it. I needed to like have a cover to take off and wash. So I would look into that. Any nursing pillow you want to get, make sure it has a cover that comes off and can be washed. And ideally the cover is soft on top and waterproof on the other side. Would definitely be ideal. I nursed 2 babies and did not use a nursing pillow. I went with a pillow off our guest bed and that worked until I didn't need one anymore, which you don't need one your whole nursing journey. Okay, you just don't. Oh, the other thing they typically complained about was in the middle of the night, they almost felt like it was difficult to hold their baby, get the nursing pillow into place, and then get them going. Like it was almost like they needed to sit down, get their pillow in place, and then have somebody pass them the baby. And I thought that was really interesting. Like it was almost just too much to manage and to get comfortable. And it's like you almost like can't reach baby if you set them on the couch, like because the pillow's just blocking you. Yeah, definitely was interesting to me that 4 out of 10 regretted a nursing pillow. And some of these moms may not have even nursed. So very interesting. 4 out of the 10 moms had stroller regrets. And this is tricky because everybody has different needs, but some of them regretted going too expensive or too fancy. Others thought they maybe needed to go a little bit nicer. And then one wished they would have done one that was convertible from a single to a double. That is the one thing that I do think about sometimes. My kids were 2.5 years apart, but if there's a chance that you're going to have babies close together or considering it, I would really consider one that goes from a single to a double. That seems like a good benefit to me. Now, some people are perfectly happy to have one in the stroller and one in a carrier, and they can make that work. Some people gap their children further, and a single will suffice. I use the Graco Fast Action Fold. It was a jogger stroller, came with a car seat and a base. It will be linked down in my favorite products. It works for us very well, and I don't regret it. Now, could there have been maybe different options that were more expensive and nicer? Yes, but not everything has to be expensive and nice. Sometimes it just gets the job done. When it comes to strollers, my biggest suggestion is to really think through your lifestyle. One for me is I wanted a jogger with big wheels for the pumpkin patch, the apple orchard. I didn't want it for going to the mall. Okay, if you're doing that, smaller plastic wheels, they will get you by. So think about where you're going to stroller baby. That really impacts the design and style that you're going to need. Next, I want to talk about some honorable mentions. So these items did not come up as much across the 10 videos, but I do feel like they're still very important for you to be aware of and consider skipping. This flat mat. So I mentioned this when we were talking about high chairs. It's a mat, goes under the high chair. So say your baby's eating like crushed strawberries and they're just making a mess. They're going to mess up their outfit, their bib, their high chair. Then this flat mat's going to get messy and they're probably going to get some on the floor because it's going to go beyond this flat mat. Now you're cleaning every single one of those things. Why not just clean the floor? Why are you adding this flat mat as one more thing to clean? Now, if your house has white porcelain tile and you need to protect it from raspberries and strawberries, okay. that's different. But if your floor is just cleanable and whatever, just clean the floor. Don't clean the splat mat and the floor. That seems redundant and silly to me. Another one that was mentioned was the bath thermometer. It wasn't mentioned often, but somebody did bring it up. They said theirs died very quickly. You just don't need it. Fill the water and call it good. And then the humidifier was mentioned a couple times, and I think people just got it because they thought they needed it, but then they never used it. Unless you live in a specific dry area, don't get it. Like, what do you need it for? If they get sick and you feel like you need it, get it then. Don't buy everything just in case. Humidifiers themselves are not bad products, just wait and see. Now, next, these items surprised me. These moms said some of these as regrets, and I was like, what? I fully endorse this item. I recommend this one all the time. So one mom in particular was super, super minimal. Okay, she regretted getting a baby gate, getting like eating utensils, like plates, forks, that kind of stuff, and a diaper caddy. All of these to me were absolutely crazy. The diaper caddy, love it. Now the baby gate and the eating stuff, it's for in the future. And yes, you can wait for birthdays and Christmas, but also I feel like you want to take advantage of your baby registry and get everything you possibly can. And like, I wouldn't recommend getting 50 bottles and 50 types of bottles, but like plates, they're going to use whatever plate you tell them to use. They're going to use whatever fork you get. Like those to me are guaranteed usable items. Okay, same with the baby gate. Like if you need it in your home, that's up to you on safety and stairs and how you manage that. But like, that's a guaranteed user. I prefer that over like, we're not sure kind of items. And then the last one mom regretted the electric nail file. She said she used the softest options for like the head of it, and it would just chip at her baby's nails and like make them really like jagged and kind of like, I don't know, it didn't work well for her. And she acted like she tried multiple ways of using it, different like buffers, as gentle as possible. And for her, it was not a winner. I did not get an electric nail file, but I do recommend them to people. I'm like, they seem like a good product. They don't seem like a problem to me. I just clip my baby's nails. Now, did I maybe cut them once or twice? Yes, and I felt terrible. So to me, the electric nail file is a frequent user, and I would think you would get your money's worth out of it. For her though, it was not a great experience. And I will say, when babies are first born, their fingernails are so soft. They're really flexible, and it can make them kind of tricky. So what she actually recommended is, she's like, I wish I just would have gotten a really soft baby file and like just filed their nails more slowly, one at a time. And a way you can do that is when they're sleeping. Now, you don't want to wake a sleeping baby, but say they've been napping for 2 hours, start filing a couple of their nails. Okay, just an option. The thing about these items is I'm shocked people regretted them, and that just tells you how, honestly, baby registries are difficult. Okay, getting advice from others is so difficult because not everything applies to everyone and everyone's lifestyle. And this is why I feel like moms need personalized guidance and not just a overall checklist. All right, you need to get what fits your home, your lifestyle, and your future parenting style as well. All right, so here's a few rules. Don't buy in bulk. Okay, if you buy too much of one thing and it doesn't work for them, now you've got a surplus. Keep it minimal. Babies don't care how many things they have. They just want things that work for them. Wait for the problem sometimes before buying a solution. Okay, like kind of the humidifier. Wait till you need it. See if you need it before you go out and get it, just in case. And this last one, some of the best baby registry items are incredibly boring. Hangers, hamper, boring, not pretty, not fun, but man, they get the job done. All right, so don't be afraid to be boring, practical, and focused on your baby registry. Watching these 10 influencers and their videos just reminded me, the best baby registry is not the biggest. It is the most focused on your unique lifestyle, needs, budget, home, and environment. There is no single perfect registry out there for any one parent. And honestly, that's why so many parents end up overwhelmed and they have all these regrets. Don't try to be somebody else, just try to be you and the best version of yourself that you can be as a new parent. If you are currently building your baby registry and feeling stuck, confused, or anxious, you are not alone in this overwhelm. And if you want more practical help, I offer a baby registry review service where we can talk about your baby registry specifically and get you focused on the items that are going to serve you well. So look for the link down in the description, as well as more videos on this channel. Check them out, subscribe, have a great day.